Testing, hot outbound car, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hear? Lower your right shoulder. Go!
The Honeymooners Podcast, the only podcast that is all about the greatest show of all time. With the stars, Joe Conti and Louis Fatts.
Welcome, fellow raccoons and members of the Women's Auxiliary. What's happening, all you Hurricane, Bensonhurst bombers, and all you Barney Bibbos of the world?
Yeah.
You're listening to the Honeymooners Podcast with me, Joe Conti, and my pal Louis Fatts.
And to make everything up, we're taking out the whole crowd of you girls over to Burt Wiedemoller's house to meet his wife.
Burt Wiedemoller? Whoops. The only discussion-based podcast all about the greatest show of all time. We record in the Non-Productive Studios at 328 Chauncey Street in Brooklyn, USA. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, and if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review. And if you don't listen in podcasts, you can just listen on our website, the Non-Pro website. That's non-productive.com/honeymooners. Don't forget to like our Honeymooners Podcast Facebook page, Twitter. We have a Patreon, all of that stuff.
Yeah, got it all going.
We got it all going on. What's going on, Lou?
Joe, number 50. This is I guess a milestone.
I guess,
That's
right?
50, yeah, it's just a number.
It's not a 39.
No.
It's not a true milestone like that.
Yeah, but it's a milestone. It's like what do they call it? Silver? 50 silver or gold?
Silver,
25 silver. Yeah, 25 silver and 50 is gold, something like that. When anniversaries,
75 is.
That
I
don't
don't
exist.
know.
Yeah. If you're married to somebody for 75 years, you got to be like Mr. and Mrs. Gunther. Well, all right, it's number 50. We got 50s. Got some good 50s.
Good. Let's get the 50s out.
We got the Admiral, David Robinson.
Okay.
And we also have, from the New York Mets, of course, we have to always put our Mets in there, Sid Fernandez.
Sid Fernandez, yes.
And for your football guys out there, Mike Singletary.
Chicago
Bear.
The Eyes,
yep.
Yeah. And you know what? What's his name? The Admiral.
Yeah.
David Robinson.
One
of the most likable athletes. Just one of those guys where you just kind of know that if you met him, you wouldn't be disappointed.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you bugged him when he's having dinner with his family. I love when people do that.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, this guy, he's such a jerk. I went over, I asked him for an for an autograph, and he was eating lobster, and he wouldn't stop.
Fork is in his mouth. Like, how dare he not take the fork out of his mouth and sign my autograph? Sign my menu.
Yes, exactly.
No, but the Admiral, good man.
Yeah,
good man. The Admiral,
number 50, deserved the. I think he won 2.
Whatever, yeah.
At least one.
Yeah, at least
one or 2
championships. I don't
championships.
follow NBA anymore.
Yeah. So, but here at first we have to talk about our sponsor.
Yes.
Our wonderful sponsor, Silk City Hot Sauce. So here's the deal. You go to silkcityhotsauce.com and you enter RX in the coupon code box at your checkout and save 15%. And our pal, Jeff Kingfish Levinsky, will also throw in a free bottle of cherry sriracha.
Yes.
So you go to silkcityhotsauce.com, treat yourself to some delicious handmade hot sauce, and don't forget to put RX in the coupon code to get yourself 15%.
It's Christmas time coming up.
Yes.
Good gift for people.
That's right. What you can do is you could take a couple of bottles of
three packs
with the chipotles and put them in a little box, from Japan that's made out of 2,000 matchsticks
put together,
and you could give that to your lovely wife.
Perfect.
And then she gives you a bowling ball that you don't really.
You don't need.
You don't need a bowling ball. Just get her the siracha.
Like put the sriracha in Napoleon's head. Squeeze him and then come out
and
his
he bleeds out of his ears.
Chipotle out of his ears.
He bleeds chipotle out of his ears. All right. So we got a lot of...
if that don't sell hot sauce, nothing will.
Yeah, really. Anybody, the Honeymooners fans, I mean, if you're not appreciating us throwing in, the Emperor of Japan's box of hairpins into our advertising sponsor, then you know what? Then don't you're never gonna buy.
Never gonna buy a bottle.
Never gonna buy a bottle. So, this is a little bit of a special show.
Yeah,
we haven't done it in a while, and we said we want to do one.
Yeah,
and it's basically secondary character.
Yes.
And he's
secondary character.
Yes, he's probably the second best secondary character.
Yeah,
because
after Freddie Muller.
And
Or George Petrie.
The great Freddie Muller. Yeah. But this one is Frank Marth.
Marth, yes.
Now, with Frank Marth, hold on, Louis.
Dusty out in that hall.
Thank you. I wasn't going to do it. I was going to let you do it. And we all know who Frank Marth is, right? Frank Marth played the great Bibbo.
Bibbo, yeah.
Right? He played Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin.
Where he was the working for the
Universal Magazine.
Universal Magazine. Then he was also Grogan the Cop.
Grogan the Cop.
Grog.
One of Joe's favorite characters.
Yeah.
Grogan.
Just loved it. I'll put you down for the usual licks. He licks the pen.
Like
the pencil. And put it down there. Put you down for the usual buck. Then he was Mr.
Mr. Prescott.
Mr. Prescott.
The questioning photographer.
A great one. Then he was also Mr. Wilson. Which is a good one.
Good one. Oh, yeah.
That was in the Woman's Work Is Never Done,
yeah.
when he's playing that part. But a little bit about Frank Marth. Born in New York, Washington Heights, July 1922. He worked in construction. Of course he did. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a big guy.
He's a big guy, yeah.
You know, he wasn't like a giant man, but he was a big guy. Yeah. I'll bet you he was as big as Harvey, height-wise.
Well, I think they listed him as 6'1 and a half, 6'2.
Yeah,
so back,
he was a big guy.
He was a big guy.
He probably looked, I bet you stood next to him.
Yeah.
He would look like you.
Yeah, sure.
You know, not as handsome.
No,
obviously.
of course not. Nobody
Nobody can. Yeah.
Regular Clark Gable.
It's the third time we heard Clark Gable now. That's good. Twice on the show and then once on the podcast. All right. He also attended the Fegan School of Dramatic Arts, and he worked in radio before he got into television. He was an announcer, commentator, and disc jockey.
Yeah.
And look, the movies and the TV shows, just the TV shows that he was on, some of the highlights.
List.
I mean, a character actor, obviously.
That's what he was.
He was a character actor.
Never leading man, just a character actor.
And he was in like Perry Mason, The Big Valley, Hogan's Heroes, Mission Impossible, Hawaii Five-0, The Fugitive, $6 Million Man, and MASH.
There you go.
Because I see people will find him and see him in MASH and then put it on some of the great.
I saw the one. One of the last ones I saw was Hogan's Heroes one, where he was on Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
In one of the Honeymooners sites. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course he was on all of Jackie Gleason's TV shows.
Yes.
Now here's the thing: he was in movies, a lot of movies, and the one movie, and I don't remember because when I saw this movie, I didn't realize who Frank Marth was.
Right.
But along with like Pendulum and Marooned and Telephone and Magadan, he was in a movie called Madam X. And I just have to tell.
Joe's got a Madam X story.
I have a not really a Madam X story, but my mom, the late Lena Conti, she made me watch the movie. And it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. So I remember I think it might have been at my mom's wake, but it was somewhere when I was talking to my friend Bill. We've been friends for like 35 years. Bill was like a second son to my mother, right?
Okay.
And I said, Bill, you never got to watch Madam X. He goes, yeah, I did. I go, why? Did my mother tell you about it when you came? He goes, no. I came over when I was living with my mom for like 6 months or whatever, and I guess he came over to my mom's house to see if I was there. This is before cell phones, obviously.
Right, yeah,
okay. And my mother, she'd be like, "Oh, come on, sit down and have something to eat," whatever. And then he goes, "Yeah." But what happened was he was like, "Yeah." So I went over there to see if you were there. You weren't there, and your mother just said, "Come sit down over here. I'm going to play something for you." And she made him watch Madam X, and it's a long movie.
Well,
this is like an epic movie. It's like over 2 hours. And Bill was like, "You know what? It was a really good movie."
There you go. I know, good memory.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So, but that was one of the movies, and I just thought it was great. One of the things is that he was married. I think might have been. I didn't see him with his first wife. It didn't say that this was his first or second wife.
It just said
wife. It just said
yeah,
wife.
Yeah.
Hope Holiday.
Yep.
Which would go by the name Hope Z. And he married her in 1967 until he died in 2014. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'll just say she was a sweet dish.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a very attractive lady.
She was.
I think her father was had something to do in radio, like was some sort of executive or something. Right. But she was in a ton of movies. She sang, and she's still alive.
Yeah, wow, there you go.
1930, so she's 90 years old.
Wow.
I don't know where she's at. I don't know if she's
She doesn't know where she's at either.
dancing burlesque somewhere in a park. All right, we're just being mean here. This is for another type of show.
Yeah, really. What are we doing here anyway? Oh, this is the Honeymooners podcast. Okay.
So, what we want to do is, sorry,
There you go.
pays to drink the best.
Yeah. Really dusty that hole.
We got some clips that we want to play that features Frank Marth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, doesn't he? Like he looks a little like Adam West. Doesn't he
He
remind
does.
you?
He does.
I
Yes,
just
he
noticed
does.
that.
He has
Yeah,
those
look-
features. Has Adam West
Adam West
features.
had a little bit more of a rounder
rounder
face.
face is more squared and
A little
and,
square,
yeah.
but yeah. And you know what? It shows how much people who are in the business know, because he's a perfect looking character actor.
Yeah.
Because he could play
play a lot of different parts.
Different parts,
He can
yeah.
Fit
And
into
fits him.
It fits him. He can fit into anything you want him to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they know. I mean,
Yeah.
these people, they ain't
They
stupid.
know.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know.
Oh, they know.
I don't know if they're cornstalk or use the Ouija board, but they know.
All right. So we got a couple of clips here. They're like 2 minutes long. And we're just gonna, it's featuring the great Frank Marth.
Marth.
You know, we got three different different characters.
Yeah.
And the first one is Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
And that's when he's playing the guy who runs the
Yeah, stellar employment agent.
And also when he wasn't supposed
you have
to
you have
be
a story about this.
Yeah,
though,
there's some trivia about it saying he wasn't supposed to be that. He wasn't supposed to be in the episode.
Right.
But somebody either got sick or something happened, and he had to fill in last minute, and that's why he had all the papers in front of him. It was his lines.
So he's reading. Okay.
So he's like, but great job. You would
Shuffling
never know.
pa- yeah,
he
he's shuffling
wasn't
papers,
like,
yeah.
so
Yeah, like-
I have a place for you. You know what I mean? The guy's a pro. He was a
Yeah,
pro.
he's a pro.
He was an absolute
Yeah,
pro.
he's Frank Marth.
He's Frank Marth.
Come on.
Say his name, Frank Marth. Mr. Wilson, and we'll play this little clip.
Oh,
and this
great,
is
great clip.
And plus, Louis loves.
I love this line.
Don't act like we never hired a maid before. They'll take advantage of us. Act important. They'll think we're big shots.
I just hope it doesn't take too long, Ralph. This is my lunch hour. I got to get back to work.
Never mind your lunch. Just act important.
Never mind your
Go
lunch.
hard.
My name is Mr. Wilson. What can I do for you?
How are you? This is my wife, Mrs. Cramden, and I'm her husband, Mr. Cramden.
Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
Well, I'm certainly glad you came. I have an opening for a couple just like you on an estate out in Long Island.
You are making a slight mistake.
Just a
Yeah,
slight
we're
mistake.
big shots.
We haven't come here to get work. We want to hire some domestic help like you got in the window there.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I should have known.
Should
I'm
have.
sure
I
I can
should
help
have.
you, Mr. Cramden, if you'll just answer a few questions.
He's
Now,
like, I
let me
should have
see, your
known,
first
but
name?
Ralph.
but I just got the
Ralph.
script 10 minutes
And
ago.
address?
728 Chauncey Street. Pays to buy the best. You may wonder why I'm chuckling when you ask me my address. Now we must have hired 1,000 maids, and they always ask the same question. What's your address?
Mr. Cramden, where do you work?
I am associated with the Gotham Transit Line.
I see.
Yes, you see.
Now, Mrs. Cramden, I assume you'll be home to supervise the maid's work.
Oh, well, no,
Terrible
you see,
assumption.
I have a job.
Really?
She doesn't need the job. It's, career.
Career.
She's a career.
Career girl.
Oh, I see, certainly. Tell me, Mrs. Cramden, where do you work?
At Kraus Meyer's Bakery.
She just delivers this great.
My career is stuffing jelly into donuts.
Stuffing.
Also has a great sense of humor.
I see. As a matter of fact, Mr. Cramden, I was just talking to someone on the inside who I think would be perfect for what you want.
Oh.
Miss Reynolds, would you send in Thelma, please?
On the inside.
Well,
Mr. Cramden, you'll be very
Yeah.
lucky to get Thelma. She's an extremely good worker. You know, it's a funny thing about the maid situation, but the demand is so tremendous today, there just aren't enough maids to go around. I guess the maids are aware of this, and they've all become very independent.
independent.
Oh, hello, Thelma.
Hello, Thelma. And obviously we could play the whole
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, it's great.
And it's great. But Yeah, Frank Marth.
Frank Marth, big part there.
Big part there.
Yeah, some lines.
He's good line. I mean, a great
comedic line.
And he delivers it straight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yes.
It was a hilarious line delivered in a straight fashion.
In a straight fashion. Yep.
And just the reaction.
Yes,
is just
great.
Oh, my God. So that's Mr. Wilson, and of course that's from A Woman's Work is Never Done. All right. Our second one is going to be from the Mr. Martin, which is from oh my God, when he's
Mr. Martin, the Safety Award.
Safety Award, yes, of course. I'm sorry, the Safety Award. And this is the beginning, obviously, when they're going to take a big part. Yeah,
because comes back later. I mean,
in the third scene, he comes when they were at the City
Commissioner's
Hall, Commissioner's
Yeah.
office. Yes,
Yeah.
12:30 sharp.
12:30 sharp.
Yeah,
With Charlie.
thanks, Charlie. Go feed the dogs. All right, here we go.
And bring some of those pictures of Marilyn Monroe.
Don't act like we never hired a maid before.
Oh, wrong one.
That's not the right one.
No, I got the wrong one up there. We just did that.
Is that the one I just did?
Yeah, that's the one you just did. We had to get the one with the.
There
we go. That's the right music.
Now, Charlie, let's take a shot of him from here as he's coming out of the building after a day's work, huh?
You know, I've taken pictures of big shots, movie stars, kings.
What king?
I've never run into a ham like
King
this one.
Now, what do you expect? Yesterday's an ordinary bus driver. Today he's going to have his picture taken, getting a free-page spread in Universal Magazine. Tomorrow he's being honored at City Hall. It's got to affect him.
Big deal. He won an award as the safest bus driver in the city.
Sure, it's a big deal. It's the biggest thing that happened to a bus driver. Look, you all set?
Yeah, bring in the man of the hour.
Yeah, and maybe winning the lottery could have been a little better.
Come in now. Oh, look, make it natural, huh?
Come in. You can come out now.
That's really come out. That's funny. And he gets a little snippy with it.
Yeah.
Look, Mr. Crandon, what are you trying to do?
Well, I thought that would be a good pose, for the cover of your magazine.
Look, Mr. Crandon, this picture isn't going to be on the cover. This is just one in a series of articles dealing with the big days in the lives of people in various lines of work.
Well, when you wrote the story about Marilyn Monroe, you had her picture on the cover.
If you get into a bikini bathing suit, we'll put your picture on the cover.
Now, look.
What an amazing
Mr. Crandon,
great
just
line.
stand there
Charlie.
and we'll take the shot until you just come out, huh? Charlie, go ahead.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Thank you.
Well, if that's all, I'm going back to the office.
Okay, Charlie, fine.
See you tomorrow at City Hall. The commissioner's office.
Yeah, 12:30 sharp. Well, Mr. Crandon, can we finish this interview over a cup of coffee?
Oh, well, I'd like to, but like I said, I'm waiting for my friend that I told you about, Ed Norton. He's going to meet me here.
Well, I guess we can do it here. Mr. Crandon, something you said struck me as being very strange. Now, you've just won the award as the safest bus driver of the year, and yet you say that you felt that bus drivers don't get the recognition they should.
Well, that's right. You see, this
plays a
award
really
that
good
I'm
straight-
getting is a
right,
special
yeah.
award. It's not an award that's given out all the time. And like cops and firemen, they get awards all the time. And I think that a bus driver is just as much of a public servant as they are.
Yeah, but those awards are usually given out for bravery in the face of extreme danger. Now, when does a bus driver have to show bravery in the face of extreme danger?
When? All the time. Huh? Only the other day, a lady got on my bus. She's got a dog that must have been 6 foot high. It's one of those French poodles, with the Italian haircuts. So she tries to get on the bus with the dog. I said, wait a minute, lady, you can't bring that mongrel in here. She says, what do you mean, mongrel? It's a pedigree. I said, I don't care what it is. Pedigree or a mongrel, it can't get in the bus.
Well, what did she say to that?
She says, how dare you? She says, this dog is worth $10,000.
Well, then what did you do?
I said, if he's worth that much, let him take a cab.
And
he
he
like
plays
you said,
such a great.
He played straight.
Yeah, he played a
Yeah.
great straight man. I always say the best straight man ever was Bud
Oh,
Abbott.
Bud Abbott, yeah.
Bud Abbott,
Yeah.
one of my favorites. And I'm not going to say he was Bud Abbott, obviously.
Right. No.
But it was really, really good. Like, just a great straight man delivering the lines perfectly for Gleason.
For Gleason,
for
setting
him
up
to
Gleason's
bla-
joke. 'Cause
yeah,
it's the kind of joke that needs that little
absolutely
question in the middle.
Yes,
Like, you
it's
couldn't like continue
No,
that
it's
on.
not a monologue. Because
Yeah.
you need somebody to go, oh, really?
And
What
really,
did she
what'd
say?
And what did she say to that?
And
And,
it's-
it's
right.
like,
Great.
what did you do?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Great.
Frank Marth.
Frank Marth.
Straight
Now,
man. Straight.
all right, we're going to go to our last character that he played. That we could do this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, 'cause he played 10 of them. So,
yeah, we could we could get all the clips from him, get on a subway, and we'll be done in an hour and a half. So now, of course, our favorite character that he played.
Oh God!
And in one of the best episodes.
So we think. A lot of people
listen, we've done more material on this episode than I think any other episode.
5 times.
5 times, I think. We actually have one episode called Even More Trap Stuff. And, of course, it's Bibbo. And we've heard, and in IMDb, it calls him Barney Bibbo.
Barney Dibble.
Dibble. They call him Dibbo. We call him Bibbo.
Because he's old. I don't care what his name is.
Yeah,
it's Bibbo.
It's Bibbo to us. Yeah. Exactly. And I think most of the guys, the listeners, and
they all refer to him as Bibbo.
As Bibbo, yeah, absolutely. So, let's go with Bibbo. We have 3 quick clips of Bibbo. Here we go.
Now, I don't want a word out of either of you two.
Hey, you hear something?
Is that Barney pulling away?
He's pulling away with the car. Hey, there's something wrong.
Something wrong?
Hey, Danny. It's the cops. Cops? Yeah, patrol car just pulled up.
Did you talk to the cops?
Oh, hi.
The truth.
Oh, well, the truth, of course.
Hey,
that
wait
was
a minute.
I wouldn't say anything.
One of those cops is coming up this way now. Hey, look, we got to blow this joint. The roof. We can beat it across the roof, huh?
Oh, wait a minute, Monty. Just get hold of yourself.
You're middle-aged guys. 2 middle-aged guys. We're going to jump off the roof.
Jumping over
right,
the roof.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lanky 6'1" Marth and a squirmy Italian named George Petrie. Yeah, they're gonna go jumping over the roofs like Spider-Man. Okay, now that's the first clip from that episode, obviously, and a little continuation.
Yeah,
a little more Bibbo.
No more Bibbo.
Hey, look, Danny, let me give him a waking over, huh?
No.
Another stupid move like that, Crampton, you'll get the worst beating anybody ever got in their life.
Just let me give him a sample, huh, Danny? A little sample, huh?
Ralph, please tell them that you'll do anything.
Now,
they
look,
say.
you two are sitting down. You're not making a sound or a move from here in. If you try anything, I ain't stopping Bibbo. Now, sit!
It's still sometimes you can think it sounds like Dibbo, but
but he's saying like Dibble, but
Dibble.
the way he's saying it,
yeah,
his pronunciation.
It's Bibbo. I don't care what anybody says.
Who the hell cares what Freddie Muller says?
Really.
It's our show. We're calling him
exactly. Freddie Muller, Joe Rumsey, whatever your name is. You don't even know what your name is. How are you supposed to get the name right? And this is the third part, and this is my favorite part of Frank Marth's Bibbo character. There it is. There we go.
You're making a big mistake, you know. What are you going to do, untie us every time somebody knocks at the door?
Well, listen, Redhead, don't strain your brain. It's after 11 o'clock. Visiting hours are over.
Ow!
Hey, yo, take it easy. That's my wife.
What are you going to do about it, fatso, huh? Now, look, Pudgy. Put your hands behind your back.
I'm not going to do it.
I said put your hands behind your back.
I don't care what you said. I'm not going to do it.
Look, pal.
You look, and you look. Go ahead and wave that gun. I must have been a dope. You guys are in just as much trouble as we are. We can't leave here, and neither can you. Those cops are downstairs, you know. And if you shoot that gun off, you know what will happen. Every cop in the neighborhood will be up here in 5 seconds. So just go ahead. And look, I don't know when I'm going to run into you, but someday I'm going to run into you when you haven't got this guy with the gun. And, brother, are you going to get yours?
Look, by the time we get finished with you won't be in no condition to get ours.
Okay, Bibbo, take him inside and work him over.
Come on. No, please, he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. Just tie him up. Don't take him in there.
Get in there. I like how Bibbo had to explain, hey, listen, when we're done with you, you're not even going to be able to give us hours.
Give us hours.
It's almost like he's very scientific.
Yeah,
like, hey, listen, once we take care of you, you're not going to be in any condition at all to let alone go to work or give us hours. Yes. Now, that is probably his best.
That's his role.
Yeah,
that's
great.
That's his signature role.
And we don't know if we mentioned this, so we apologize if we did, but he's wearing a prosthetic nose in the scene. Mm-hmm. If you watch, when they show him up close, they got like extra stuff to make his nose look
like
bigger.
That gangster nose.
Yeah, like
crooked, like that crooked gangster nose.
Right, like a guy who's taking a bunch of shots to the face, you know, fighting. Yeah.
That's what it's for, you know.
Yeah. Of course, and I never noticed it until like a month ago.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if we mentioned it, but it's a really cute little find.
Yeah.
when you're going
definitely.
through. Yeah,
Definitely.
more of a visual nugget, as the hip kids say. Yes.
I am not, so
Okay,
don't know
well,
what they say.
what we want to do is, in continuation, okay, because that's our tribute to Frank Marth. Right? Great. But we're not quite done with him yet, as we want to play, of course, this.
And now, the Honeymooners podcast presents
It's not in the top hand, drip hand drawer.
the Flub of the Week.
Okay, so this episode being all about Frank Marth, we wanted to throw in. We just noticed
this.
We just
When
heard
Joe
this
was playing the
little
clips
flub
before,
yeah,
setting it up for the show.
Setting up for the show, and
Joe
all of a
says
sudden,
to me, he goes, "Wait a minute, did he just say?"
Yeah, and
Okay.
he and
did.
did he just say he sure did? And it's not Frank Marth saying it,
No.
but he's being said to Frank Marth.
Yeah.
And tell us if you can hear the flub.
Now, I don't want a word out of either of you two.
Hey, you hear something?
Is that Marty pulling away?
He's pulling away with the car. Hey, there's something wrong. Hey, Danny, it's the cops.
Cops?
Yeah, a patrol car just pulled up.
Did you talk to the cops?
Oh, yeah.
The truth!
Hey, wait a minute.
I wouldn't say anything.
One of those cops is coming up this way now. Hey, look, we gotta blow this joint. The roof, we can beat it across the roof, huh?
Wait a minute, Marty. Just get hold of yourself.
Yeah. Did you notice that? He called him Marty.
Marty.
Who's supposed to be the
getaway
driver.
Now we're hearing Marty.
Right.
Could he have said Bonnie? Like with an act, like with that
Barney?
Brooklyn-y, like Barney?
Ooh, let me go right to that part here. Let's play it again.
Because it sounds like Marty.
Marty, which
Marty
makes sense.
and Bonnie
Yeah.
can sound the same.
Right. If you were writing a song, you could put Barney and
exactly.
Marty.
There you go. There
and
you
they
go.
could be considered rhyming, even though they're not. But
That's great.
I'll
Try
play
it again. Yeah, run that again.
I'm
That's
not gonna
good.
do the whole thing because I wasn't sure where it
Yeah,
was.
no.
It's right here at the spot. Here we
Yeah.
go.
We gotta blow this joint. The roof, we can beat it across the roof, huh?
Wait a minute, Marty. Just get hold of yourself.
Sounds like Marty.
Sounds like Marty.
Like Marty.
I think he called him Marty.
Marty.
Now wait a minute, Marty, because he just mentioned
Marty,
Marty
the getaway
down there.
Yeah.
mentioned-
Smart enough to get away and they'll come
Right,
back later.
right.
Yeah.
So he just mentioned that. So we think that was a
Marty.
little flub.
Flub.
That I could say, I'm proud to say that I found.
Joe found that one.
Yes.
And we're not even ever talk about the real flub of what's his name? What's his name?
George Petrie?
George Petrie. Oh, with the boot and beaten.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is like so blatant out there. The
Well, I
boot-
think we did that.
We did it once before.
Right,
I don't know if we ever actually made that a flub of the week, but we've talked about it several times.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I
don't know if
I'm
we
not sure
officially
if
made
did.
that a flub of the week.
Well, that could be part of the flub.
But that's part of
yeah,
it. But this was a good find.
Yeah, because
This
it's
is a good
so it's so quick,
Right.
and so subtle.
Right.
It's like most of the flubs. Look, all flubs can't be top hand, dress pan,
No,
draw.
they're not going to be.
Some of them are a little bit subtle.
Uticas. No, there's only
Yeah.
one Utica, one
There's
top hand, left
one
hand drawer.
and one he are was you.
What it,
Yeah,
she, he, him,
Yes.
both play with
Yes.
him, and then
Yeah.
applicant. There's only a few of those.
There's only a few of the great
flubs.
in your face, hilarious.
flubs.
But this one is
the subtle
just
one.
a
You
subtle
gotta
one.
listen.
Absolutely.
Joe found it. Just found this. That's
Just-
amazing.
Yeah, well,
That was
right in
amazing.
the studio,
Just
right
now.
here, 328
Chauncey Street. Garden spot of the world. Clifton, New Jersey.
Garden Spotted World, Clifton, New Jersey. All right, so that was our flub of the week, and even though we did a lot about Frank Marth, we're still going to include one of my favorite bits that we do, and that is.
And now, from the observation deck overlooking the Johnson Building at 328 Chauncey Street, the Honeymooners podcast presents Louis' Observations.
All right, Louis' Observations. Now, I think you gave me the clip for this, right?
I gave you the clip. You're going to play the clip.
So I got to, oh boy, now I got to see if I can find the clip.
Another Frank Marth clip instead.
There it is. Okay.
Oh, you got
the
it.
one that says Louis' Observations.
Louis' Observation.
Yeah.
That should be it. But you never know on this.
We don't have to preface it or anything, right?
No, we just play it.
and then
I'm
you'll
gonna-
do your observation.
Do the observation.
And I don't even know if I know this one.
No, Joe. No, you don't.
I didn't wanna hear
We
it.
played it before, and you said, "I don't want to hear this. I want you to
Okay, I
point
wanna-
it out." And we do it.
Here we go.
We'll do it live here.
I'm going to make it this time.
I know you are. I certainly hope you passed that test, Ralph, and I hope Norton passed his, too.
Well, I'm not worried about me passing it, but I'm not too sure of Norton. Not if he's going to answer all the questions like he told me he answered one of the questions they gave him.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it was one of those questions where you have a choice of what you want to answer, you know. It said if you were heating your own home and oil was 12 cents a gallon and it went up 7%, and coal at the same time was $14 a ton and that went up 9%, well, what would you do? What do you think Norton says? Pack up and move to Florida.
And there's a tiny little flub in there when he goes, because he's basically saying you get like a multiple choice.
Yeah. Well,
and he said, okay, sorry.
I knew how to shut you up. I was like, Jesus. Shut up. I'm like, okay.
Next time you shut up.
So here's the observation. That was an observation. He says in there, it's one of those questions that gives you a multiple. He doesn't say multiple choice, but it's a multiple choice question.
Correct.
So here's the observation. So was one of the choices pack up and move to Florida? Was that like C? Like A, buy oil, multiple B, choice. Buy coal,
right,
C, pack up and move to Florida.
Yeah, or it was C, get a big winter coat, and then D, pack up and move to Florida.
That's the observation.
That's just great because he probably wrote it in instead of filling out
A
or B. He wrote it in with
D with a
wet sewer infested pencil.
Wait a minute, he just said it's multiple choice. Was that one of the choices?
But he doesn't, and that's the thing. The observation is great and it's funny, but he doesn't say multiple choice.
No, he says it gives you a multiple. Gives you a question gives you a choice
on which question you want to answer.
No, what do you want to answer? Your answers are a choice. He doesn't say multiple. We say multiple choice today. I don't know what the heck they call it back.
But if you hear what he says it almost like he gets a choice of which question. Did you like here? I'll play it again.
I'm going to make it this time. He's going to answer all the questions like Norton. Not if he's going to answer all the questions like he told me he answered one of the questions they gave him.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it was one of those questions where you have a choice of what you want to answer, you know.
You have a choice of
what you want to answer, which is be a multiple
choice. Okay. So I thought he was saying you get the choice of which question you want to answer.
No, he said the question was a multiple choice,
right?
Not in those words.
They probably didn't say.
Yeah, I don't know what they used back then.
Right.
Yeah, basically back then things were mostly written in. Your answers were written. You really didn't have choices. But this was probably a thing that they also did. Not as popular as today.
What does he say?
Pack up, move Florida.
Was that D?
D. Like
that was C and D was all the above.
Yeah.
Great observation.
So that was the observation. That was almost blown. That's what I get for not telling you.
Almost. But I was thinking something else completely different. Yeah, I definitely was. So, all right. We want to...
Oh, Joe, before we go, do we want to just mention other... Being out around Frank Marth, we can mention his other characters.
Oh, yeah.
Because we want to mention... I mean, the guy appeared... He's given credit on IMDb for 10 appearances.
Right.
One is a voiceover. We know that. That's in the very first episode. He plays
Rangers.
Yeah. He does the voiceover for Captain Video.
Right.
Okay.
Your Video Rangers.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think Petrie actually does Captain Video.
Yes.
He's like the announcer for Captain Video.
Exactly. Okay. Which he was an announcer on radio anyway.
He was an announcer on radio. So he ends, that's the first episode. Then he appears in the last episode.
Yes.
An uncredited, well, they're all uncredited, but he doesn't get, to use the word again, credit for that episode. He's actually the guy getting up from the table behind Ralph and Alice and Bill Davis
when
and
the
Millie.
scene starts.
When the scene starts. You see him getting up. He's, of course, smoking a cigarette because that's all they did back then.
Yeah.
And he's got the overcoat. Everybody's always dressed up nicely. And he's leaving with, who isn't Helen Wallstetter.
Well, that's our pal Bibbs.
Yeah.
Noticed that. He was like, he left with another
woman.
He's gallivanting around. Because he was basically, you think of him as Mr. Wallstetter. Harvey Wallstetter. Because that's the only woman you saw him with. And he's leaving
with
the colony with some other
woman.
With some other broad.
Some other dame. So that's another thing he did.
Wallstetter. Harvey Wallstetter.
Right. He also did, we mentioned
Grogan.
Prescott.
Yes, the questioning photographer.
Yep. And Grogan. Joe loves Grogan. And another minor one, Mr. McGregor. The guy at the dog pound.
At the dog pound, yes.
Yeah, Mr. McGregor. Really dusty in his hall, man.
Very dusty in his hall. Yeah, very, very little part.
A little part.
You know,
It comes in. It looks like a nice dog.
Looks like a good dog.
Yeah. So that's Mr. McGregor, and then Charlie, the other Charlie, not the. He plays Charlie with the Oh My Aching Back with the
yes,
when he brings the trophy.
Correct.
He's Charlie in that one.
He was Charlie in that. Yep.
And then he's Cassidy.
That's right. He's Cassidy in The Golfer.
The Golfer
down in the
locker room.
In the locker room. Yeah. That's right. He's playing a bus driver.
Bus driver.
Absolutely.
So those are all the appearances of Frank Morris.
The great Frank Morris.
Frank Morris.
And look, there's a reason why Gleason picked these guys.
Yeah,
these guys great.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park. They were awesome.
They're probably so reliable. To just deliver their part.
Well, think about it. He had experience in radio already, so he had the booming voice, and they can use those for the for the auditory thing of the announcing and stuff like that. So
these are just good professional
guys.
Like I said, and Gleason. Gleason. From what we hear about Gleason, he was. He had his certain people that he liked.
Yeah.
And he knew that they could deliver.
Yeah. And you think that he was very loyal. You
was.
Just have a feeling, I'm not speaking out of turn saying I think Gleason was loyal to people that he liked, but he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Sorry?
Yes, he was. All right, let's do the names.
What do you want to do? The names this whole. I got my papers here.
Yeah, let's do the names the same with the
names
trivia.
The same. All right, let's pick
out one. 36 minutes. So
well, that's all right. We get that.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
All right, for the names the same. Want to play it? Oh, I got to play.
We should, right?
Oh God, this is my favorite intro.
This is part of it, even though it's not really the.
It's not a trivia, but it's okay.
Yeah.
This is my favorite intro.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
It's
Yeah. That.
And now, Tom, who is our first guest, please? Sir, our first guest ready to leap the first hurdle on his way to the $99,000 answer
is our courier from Parsippany, New Jersey, Joe Conti.
Hey! All right.
Here we go. Okay. You think I would have had one back down? Okay, here we go. We'll do this one.
Okay.
Dick / Richard. Because we always have to do that because we have Tom and Thomases and Tommies and Thomas.
It's
Dick and Richard. It's Richard and there's Dick.
Right. Well, how many?
3.
3 total.
Yes.
How many Dicks and how many Richards?
And
I'm totally doing it.
Two Dicks like in this room here, and 1 Richard.
Okay. All right. So. I set you up for that. I needed to do that. I'm just
Joe's
a child.
Joe's a great straight man.
50th episode, and we're being filthy. Dick Prescott.
Yes.
Richard Whiting.
No, Richard Whiting.
Oh, that's not a character.
Not a character. No, he's one of the guys.
One of the famous people.
The famous people. $99,000 answer. One of songwriter. Richard Whiting.
Right. Richard. So there's Dick Prescott. One more. There's another guy named Dick.
There's another Dick.
And one more.
And one Richard.
One Richard. Can you give me a hint? Wait. Are either one of them people you see?
Yes, you see both of them.
You see both of them.
Yes.
I was going to make another joke, but it's for another. That's another podcast.
I'm gonna say that for
it's another type of podcast.
Say that for later on.
Isn't it one? Is it in A Dog's Life?
No.
All right, I'm drawing a blank here, so
okay.
Go ahead.
Dick Gersh.
Dick Gersh. That's right. Oh.
And I'll give you a hint next one.
Okay.
The IRS.
Richard Putter.
There you go.
Oh man, that was terrible. That was really good. Wow. Richard Putter. Very good.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Richard Whiting was a good one, but he's not a character.
He's
that
not
was
a
that was a
character.
good one, though.
Richard Whiting.
Yeah, with the head to the fingers to the forehead. Richard Whiting.
Richard Whiting. All right. Well, listen, that is our episode number 50, dedicated to the great
Frank Marth.
Frank Marth. Yep. Who played so many great roles and was also in a movie, and I don't remember even seeing him in there, in one of my mom's favorite movies, Madam X.
Now you have to watch it.
Now I got to go watch it again.
Just to see Frank Marth.
Just to watch this broad drink absinthe the whole movie. Lunatic. All right. Also, before we go, just to remind you, if you want to call and leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the air. It's 240-442-2635, and our email is
bangzoom1956 at Gmail.
Right. Do you want real quick for me to read one of our new iTunes things real quick?
Yes, go.
I forgot to do that.
Go.
Okay. We tell people to leave a voicemail for our podcast, and I'm not a voicemail. They want us to. I tell people to leave a review on iTunes.
Yes.
Because we'll read them. So we have a new one. Here it is. It's Baby You're the Greatest. It looks like it's Kugbio. I don't know. I can't say the name of the person. But, and it's when the tides of life turn against you and the current upsets your boat. Don't waste those tears on what might have been. Just lay on your back and listen to the Honeymooners podcast. It gives me a tear in my eye and a lump in my throat. Joe and Louie are bosom companions and true brothers under the pelt. 5 stars, good, clean fun. A regular riot.
Wow, that's a good one.
And we thank you, Kay. Oh, I know who it is. It's Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh,
because it's Kay Hoogs.
Oh, yes, that's Kevin.
So
okay,
it's
that's
Kevin,
Kevin.
yes.
I meant Kevin.
But
thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. And did you give him the email?
Yes, I just did. Yeah.
Okay, good. And who do we want to thank? First of all, Silk City Hot Sauce.
Yes.
Check them out. Go in there, put RX in the coupon in the checkout, and get yourself 15% and a bottle of cherry sriracha. And want to thank our great Facebook group on Facebook. Where else would it be? Mm-hmm. The Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge with Joy.
Yes.
And Brother Norton.
Mm-hmm.
And Brother Norton's got his Honeymooners podcast called The Honeymooners Thursday Trivia Podcast. It's a 2-minute podcast every Thursday with the trivia question. And don't forget my show, The Conti and Kenny Show, on More Like Radio every Monday night at 7 o'clock. And if you want to get my 1-hour comedy CD, it is called Happiness. You can get it anywhere you download audio. Get it. It's Joe Conti, Happiness. And I think that's it.
Should be it, Joe.
Yes. We went a little extra long today,
That's
but
right.
it's never too much for you guys.
And Frank Marth.
And Frank Marth. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for giving us a listen. And number 50 in the books. And we'll see you next time.
Night all.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
We'll have to do this again real soon.
How about tomorrow night?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.